people rolling right now, they're actually enjoying. They don't know what's going on among the youth. They don't know what's going on among the normal people. They are shrouded somehow, and it's quite difficult for them. And if you don't chase them out of the power that they are holding, they will not leave it. And if you don't plan something and do something for yourself, they will not do it. So this is the reason why I'm happy here that you are doing this for yourself, and I can only commend the passion behind this movement and what you are doing. And I will wish you all good luck. If you want to say anything or ask me anything, feel free to do so. I reside here in Germany. I'm in Germany, and I know a bit about some stuff. I already sent some links to Israel that he can share with you about getting scholarships in Germany. For all of you to know, education is free in Germany. You pay a so-called semester fee, but that is not up to even 200 euros for 6 months. But the regulations here in Germany are that nobody should live without having a house over their head. Nobody should live in a way that he won't be able to feed himself. So government take care of that. Your health is also paramount to them. But if somebody is coming into their system that is not covered by the government, they want that person to be able to cover himself. So they are not getting money for your tuition, like more than this 150 or 200 euros, but the money for you to sustain yourself, they will give you also a visa in which you are allowed to work for 20 hours per week. And normally this should be enough, but sometimes your education or the education might be a little bit demanding so that you will not have time or you don't want to work at the time. Whatever you kept at the bank before you get your visa, I think they regulate that you should have around about, I think, 9,000 euros, depending on how long your study is going to be in the account, in a blocked account. And then after that is blocked, they will be releasing the money to you monthly so that you'll be able to pay for your accommodation and feeding. And then you can face your education. Other than that, the money you blocked is your money. So the government is not making anything out of it because the rule of this country is everybody must be given equal opportunity. So every child must get education if they want to. Sometimes it's even a rule that they must get it to up to a certain stage, either you want it or not, because it's important. But after a while, you can do whatever you like. You can go to work. You can then land a job, and those ones who are not able to work are also being given social securities. So that's the way it is here in Germany. And to go back to the talk we are trying to do, um, there is a body in Germany, the website, I think it's DAAD, that structure and govern the area of scholarship, and you can get a lot of information on their website. Israel will share most of these things with you. Yesi, like I said, our plan is to enlighten as many youth as possible. We even target 1 million youths. If we can enlighten 1 million youth, we will know we have done a lot. And if this 1 million youth can at least empower another 10 million youths, then it's something. So this is the way we want to structure Yesi, and we need you guys here to also come together with Israel, with the other guys there at the level to do something for yourselves. And if we plan this thing together, we can do more. I want you to find a way of building a Yesi structure where it is well networked and we have as many youths as possible. The structure of Yesi is not all this make money quick, it has to do with how to make money, how to live a good life, and how to make it credibly, not in a way that you just want to dupe any other people. Get knowledge, empower yourself. Well, that's all about what I want to say for now. If you have any question, I'll still be here, but I might not be the whole of the program around, but I'm reachable on my WhatsApp or on the email.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, sir. Thank you very much thank you for that opening remark. We really appreciate it. Thank you. So we'll go straight to introducing the three panelists we have for the program this evening. We're going to start with Saintola Israel, who's the coordinator of this program. She would start by telling us what brought about, like the drive or what poured you into creating Robin Mind and what also led to choosing this topic. Then, when you're done introducing yourself, um, Ayonwale Abraham will also introduce himself, and Maureen Nwokore will introduce herself. Over to you, Mr. Israel.
Thank you very much. And also, I want to welcome everyone in this program. Like, my name is Israel Ayomide, and I'm the program coordinator. And then the idea of this program came sometimes earlier this year, I think around January 19. I wrote an article about survivor bias, how many of us have failed in some things, and because we have failed in those things, we refuse to tell our stories. Then my elder, should I say, senior colleague and brother, who is also in the house today, Abraham Ayinwadi, he read the post on Facebook, contacted me, and then surprisingly, we're just supposed to talk about, we're just supposed to talk for about, I think, 10 minutes or thereabouts. But the conversation lasted for more than 1 hour, despite it. We revealed quite a lot of things to me, how he struggled in this race for more than 3 years until he eventually got it. And then for me, I'm still struggling. I'm still trying to get it. Not that I've gotten it, or he has gotten it. And I felt like his experience should not only be esoteric to only me. You can create an avenue where a lot of other people can come around. You don't need to have gotten it. You don't need to have achieved it. But we can create an avenue where everyone can share their stories. And I expect that at the end of this program tonight, you all gain something. Either you are aspiring for scholarship, you will actually know what to focus on, things you should build. Because my conversation with him then, from my conversation with him then, I got to know what to do specifically, things to aim at, and then it actually is my journey. So I hope that very soon I will actually get a scholarship, and then I will be able to give a success story too. But for tonight, I only want to share some experiences of a lot of disappointment and a lot of rejection letters. And I have been able to meet quite a lot of interesting people, including Maureen. In this journey, it was in this journey too, I got to meet Maureen. She's a very wonderful person. So thank you very much, and I welcome all of us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Israel. Over to Mr. Abraham. Is he there? Is he online? Mr. Abraham?
We can't hear you, sir.
So can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay, so sorry about the audio issue. So as Mr. Istres said earlier, I am Abraham Ayanwale, an Erasmus student. Currently, I'm in Barcelona studying infectious disease and One Health. My research interest is basically on the oncogenic viruses, that's viruses that cause infection. And I started my scholarship journey when I was about to graduate. That was back then in 2017. And it took me almost 3 years to secure fully funded scholarships. But once I got the trick, then I know how to plan my journey, what to do, and what not to do. So along the line, I won two fully funded scholarship and another partial scholarship within the space of 3 years. So I hope I will be able to encourage, motivate, share experiences, and also learn from everyone within the house. So tonight, I'm looking towards a fruitful session with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayawale Abraham. Over to you, Miss Maureen.
I think she's still having a problem with microphone. Probably we just go straight. So pending the time that she's able to resolve the microphone issue. Or is she Maureen, are you
Okay.
there? Okay, so let
Okay,
us just
so we should continue. We should continue.
yes, let us continue, please.
Okay.
All right. So Mr. Israel, let me start with you. Why did you apply for a scholarship? You know, the first ever scholarship you applied for, what was it and why did you apply for it?
Okay. I think the first scholarship I applied for then was MTN scholarship, MTN Foundation scholarship. That was when I was in 200. And then I think from the news then they said about 20,000 of us applied for it across the country. Then 1,500 of us were shortlisted. My hopes were high that time, 200,000 naira every year. I had thought that once I got the scholarship like this, I would stop asking my parents for money. I will start my own photocopying business in the school. In fact, I had already priced the photocopying machine where I will situate my photocopying machine. You know, the way I would do them at home, all those calling them at home, no money, do this, then I would do them shakara. So I put a lot of effort into getting the scholarship, and I had a high hope that the scholarship would click. So I went to Abuja, wrote the exam, got 67. Then, unfortunately, I was not given the admission, and I was very broken. I was very broken, very disappointed. Uh, to even realize that people that got lesser than my score got the scholarship. But that was how I think they had this quota system, the north, the south, and the like. So for someone like me from the southwest, with that 67%, I was not eligible for the scholarship. But I had someone with 58 from the north central that was able to secure the scholarship. And then I always feel that I'm one of the best and I deserve the best candidate. And looking around, looking at schooling abroad now, I've gotten myself used to people abroad. I've worked with people across different countries, and I've seen the way things are done there. So I just believe that the system there, I need to expose myself to the system out there for better productivity, and that's why I have not relented in my pursuit of scholarship.
Okay. Thank you. Sir. Mr. Abraham, what was the first scholarship you applied for? And did you get it? What was it like? Was it after you left school or while you're still in school?
um, I can't actually remember the first scholarship I applied for because I've lost count over the years. But I can tell you, I applied
Wow.
to as many scholarships as possible. Immediately I know about a scholarship, I submit my application. In fact, based on scholarship applications, I've toured almost all the continents of the world. There is no continent that I've not submitted my applications. So that's just how it is. So I can't really remember my first, but I know the ones I won. So
So, what was the first one you won? Since you remember the one you won.
okay, in 2018, 2019, I won a partial scholarship. It was supposed to be a graduate assistant position in the United States. So based on the agreement then, it was to be $11,000 per annum. So when I made my research, the money will not be sufficient to live in the United States. though they cater for education, but accommodation, health, insurance, and the likes are missing. So because of that, I could not proceed with it. And that's because I do not have the financial resources to add to what the school was proposing back then. So I just have to double my efforts and put in more effort to see that I secure fully funded scholarship.
Wow. So, Mr. Israel, considering the fact that you worked with a lot of people abroad and you look forward to going abroad, if you were the one who got the opportunity Mr. Abraham did, would you have gone for it or you wouldn't have?
The partial scholarship.
Yeah, if
Obviously,
you
I
get a
wouldn't have.
partial scholarship.
Well, obviously, I wouldn't have gone to the University of Cardiff last year. I think the school fees are £17,000 or so. So they gave me a scholarship. After everything, it was reduced to about £7,000. I still couldn't afford it, so I wouldn't have gone for it. That's just it.
Uh, the first scholarship you applied for, Mr. Israel, you said it has to do um with your location, your geographical location. What about the order? Did it have to do with your geographical location? Like, what do you think contributed to why you did not get the order? And the first one had you broken, like you were not happy about it. Do you still feel the same way every time you get a rejection, or you don't even care again?
Well, the thing is, the Nigerian-based scholarships are always lopsided. So it's a Nigerian-based scholarship, and it has the quota for North is different from the quota for the South, things like that. So, but now if I miss a scholarship, I don't feel bad because I know that I wasn't up to the task. That's why I was not selected. So now I don't even look for any scholarship within the country. I don't even want anyone within the country. I just want ones outside the country because once you get those ones, they are simply based on merit. They don't know you. They don't use quota system. They don't know any senator anywhere. So just just you and your quality and your talent. That's all.
Wow, thank you very much. Okay, so Mr. Abraham, you have won a scholarship. You're presently on a fully funded scholarship studying somewhere in Barcelona. Um, it's an international scholarship. Do you think there's a way it's being done outside, like the way scholarships are outside the country? There are processes that are different from the way it is here in Nigeria. Like, are there things we need to know if we want to apply for an international scholarship that we don't necessarily need when we want to apply for scholarships in Nigeria?
I think before applying to any scholarship, it is very important to make your own research to know the details about every scholarship you want to apply for. At this junction, I would like to also emphasize that we have different types of scholarship. There are some scholarship, even though they are international scholarship, that are also quota based. For example, if you are applying to Commonwealth scholarship, it's for those people coming from indigent and developing countries. So there are some scholarship that are channeled towards specific set of people. So first, you need to make your research. You need to know the requirements. You need to know the application period. So also, I need to state it clearly that under the types of scholarship, we have those ones that are fellowship. Fellowship is there from scholarship. They under fellowship, you can be a graduate assistant, you can be a teaching assistant, depending on your profile. So those ones are mostly attainable in the United States and probably in some other parts, also in Africa, because recently a friend of mine got a GA position in the American University of Cairo. So I won that also last year. So first, you need to be able to differentiate between a scholarship and a fellowship because the requirements for two differs, and the way you prepare for the two also differ. The profile that will win you an annual scholarship, for example, Commonwealth Scholarship, MasterCard Scholarship, Erasmus Scholarship, and whatever, the one in South Korea, all those MEX in Japan, all those ones are yearly scholarship. And because of that, the profile that is going to win you those scholarship may not win you the scholarship, fellowship, university fellowship, because the role you are going to play differs in the two scenario. That's one. Then, assuming you are applying for all these annual scholarship, you also need to know the theme of each scholarship. For example, if you are applying to a MasterCard scholarship, or you are applying to a Commonwealth scholarship. Commonwealth scholarship mostly targets first-class students, although not limited to them, but mostly targets first-class students. Why, if you are applying to Chevening basically targets those with leadership quality, leadership characters, even though they are not first-class students. If you are applying to the DAAD in Germany, it's basically those with research experience or work experience. At least 2 years work experience is a requirement. So because of this, you need to know the theme of each scholarship, not just the requirement, but what exactly is the scholarship dealing with. If you're applying to Erasmus, Erasmus will prioritize your academic profile, your research experience, and your, let me say, career ambition or future goals on your leadership experience. So leadership experience here does not really matter to a great extent, as they will consider your research experience, the number of publications you have, either you're a first-class student or 2-1 or whatever. So here, basically, in Erasmus, it is about academic and research honors. Those are the two things. If you're applying to Commonwealth, it's majorly first class from indigent countries. If you're applying to MasterCard, I'm not so sure of MasterCard, but I also know it's about those coming from poor background, but I'm not sure about the details. If you're applying to Chevening, is basically those with leadership experience. You see that across board is not the same requirements, it's not the same thing. So your approach to each of these scholarship is going to be different. It is not a one approach fits all for all the scholarship. Also, the same thing applies to fellowship, because if you're applying for a teaching assistantship, it's different from the way you are going to apply for other graduate assistantship. So the first thing will be to make your diligent research, know about each of the scholarship. If it's fellowship you're applying for, know about the fellowships, the requirements, the themes, and what you need to do, or what other things that you need to know, factors that you need to put into consideration.
Okay. So thank you very much, sir, for that contribution. You 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 didn't get a lot of scholarship opportunities, so you eventually got some other along the line. And I think ever since then you've been getting more. So what were the resources you applied to getting the ones you started getting? Was there something you were not doing right? You started doing differently, so you start winning.
Before I proceed, I have another scholar here, an Erasmus scholar, who I just invite to accompany me to this meeting. I'm sure he has lots of experience that he also can contribute in this meeting. So you welcome, if, with permission. Okay, maybe I will ask for permission. Then later, if you guys agree, I can call him on board as well to share his experience, because we finished from the same school and we're also in the same not in the same program, but in the same scholarship. So he's here on board with me tonight. So with your permission, you can give him the floor to say one or two things as well to contribute. So based on your question, my scholarship journey, as I said earlier, started in 2017. Back then, I was naive, no experience, and no mentor. I was doing everything on my own. Because of that, I don't know how to write good motivation letter. I don't know how to write good statements of purpose. I just do things the way I think it's okay, or I think maybe it's appropriate, or it's acceptable to whosoever is going to assess me. Probably because of a kind of first class mentality, you also think this should be enough. But I tell you, scholarships are highly competitive and you need the right information to work with. So I remember my first SOP that I wrote back then. I still have the draft copy. And anytime I read through it these days, I will just laugh that, oh, and you are the one that write this and you actually want this to win a scholarship. I remember giving it to one of my lecturers back then in Nigeria. When he read it, he said, wow, Abraham, even when I was at your age, I couldn't write something like this. So this is good. It's going to win you a scholarship and a lot of stuff. Uh, Mind you, this person also studied in the United Kingdom, so he's not a kind of probably a local champion, whatever you might think. But the problem there is things evolve, things change. I mean, things be more competitive than they were some years back. So because of that, I keep using those same SOP for different scholarship, for different applications I was submitting, and because of that, I couldn't stand a chance to win any of the scholarship. So, but then I just like this, I attended some online programs, scholarship meetings here and there, and from there I was able to gather knowledge. I re-strategize. I try to do things in the right way. The first thing for anybody applying to scholarship, as I discussed with Mr. Istre the other time, is first to find your passion. That is very important. You can't go to graduate school without having passion, without knowing exactly what you want to do, what you want to work on, what you want to focus your life on, because our career is our life. And most of the time, that's exactly what you are working through, what you are going to work on throughout our life. So it's difficult for you to maybe you've been working in, let's say, maybe geology or whatever it is. Even under geology, you have different sections, mining and whatever it is, and you suddenly want to switch to maybe microbiology, biology, whatever. It's always very difficult. So the first thing would be to find your own passion, your interests. And I always encourage people to ensure that they research about their field. For example, you want to study infectious disease. The first thing will be to go to the internet, read about infectious disease, know the knowledge gap. If you have the interest in your own country, read about your country, read about infectious disease dynamics, epidemiology, outbreaks, whatever it is in your country. Know what is lacking, know what you can do, know what you have done in that regard, so that by the time you are presenting your application, you'll be able to say, okay, this and this and this are what I'm missing in my own country or in the field, and this and this are what I am ready to contribute, or the one I've done in mitigating the effects or whatever the knowledge gap you noticed. So those are the things you need to first put into consideration. So after doing that, the next thing will be to write a good motivation letter. The first thing is to find your passion. The second thing is to make a research and know the knowledge gap in your field. The next thing is to learn how to write a good motivation letter. Uh, Having a first class is not enough. Having a 2-1 is not enough. You need to be able to convince other people that this exactly is what you want and this is exactly what you want. There is difference between what you want and what you want, what you want. You might want something, but you might not want it. So you should be able to write a good motivation letter, a good statement of purpose letter to convince people that this is what I want and I also want it. So those are two different things. So I think with those three, then you should be good. You should be good to go. But then there are some other prerequisite things that you need to do along the line. For example, if you are applying to the United States, you need to write your GRE, you need to write the IELTS. And mind you, IELTS is important. It might not be compulsory because some university will waive it for you, especially if English language was the language of instruction during your undergraduate. But then it's give you an edge. As I discussed with Mr. Istre the other time, your GRE also gives you an edge. It's like 1 million people are applying for maybe 10 slots or 5 slots or whatever it is, and everybody has first class results. Everybody, they have first class results from different countries. You can imagine people from Japan, people from Australia, people from the United States, from the United Kingdom, from Belgium, Germany, everywhere. And you are coming from Nigeria. The first thing is you are disadvantaged. Just believe that. But then there is only one way to augment what you have. Go for the GRE. Write your GRE. The GRE is like a standard exam on which all students can be judged, can be evaluated, and decisions can be made based on your GRE scores. This is mostly true if you are going to the United States for graduate assistantship. But if you are applying for the annual scholarship, Erasmus, Commonwealth, Chefney, MasterCard, and the likes, the GRE is not necessary. But then, if you also include it in your profile, it will definitely enhance your profile and it's going to give you an edge as well. So you see that the requirements and the strategy also varies across board. I hope the information is clear.
Yes, thank you very much, sir, for the contribution. I agree with one of the points you raised about how some of us suffer and we do not get the scholarships we apply for because we fail to keep up with the trend in scholarship revolution, like resources required. I remember stumbling on a joke online that said you can no longer include I have the ability to work on that price on your CV, but a lot of people are still including it. So if most of us don't learn new way to write statements of purpose, just like you have said, that might just be the reason why we're not getting scholarships. Thank you very much for your contribution, sir. Mr. Israel, Mr. Israel, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. We would like you to talk about the recent scholarships you missed and why you think you lost scholarship.
Okay. The recent scholarship I missed is a MasterCard scholarship. I think as of the time I was speaking, we're talking in January. Abraham, you could still remember I told you I applied for MasterCard. It was just I think about 2 weeks after we spoke, that the rejection letter came. You know the funniest thing? After we talked that time, there was a time I went back to to my essays. I was just going through it. Then I asked myself that compare the competitiveness of this competition. If you were selected to be among the judges to pick people for this scholarship, would you have picked yourself with this essay? And the answer was glaring no. So from there, I wasn't too expectant again, and coupled with the fact that I already had new orientation, even though I didn't have it before applying for the scholarship. So the recent one was Mastercard scholarship, and missing it. One of the basic things I felt was missing. In fact, the basic thing I felt was missing in my application was the leadership experience. And one major thing I've learned is that when they talk about leadership experience, they are not talking about I was the class rep for my school from 100 level to 300 level. I was the faculty president. I think that is not the leadership experience they are asking of. For example, if let's say you are a public health specialist, and then you are applying for such scholarship, say masterclass, say Chevney, and you want to say your leadership experience, you should be able to narrate an experience in the line of study you are going for. Have you done, like you have said also, have you done something in that line to show that you are a leader in that field? If you are going for a study under the media, have you gained an experience? Have you led a group within the niche you are going for? I think that is the a leadership experience they are asking for. Not I was once in fact, I wouldn't know, sir. You were once, you are the pioneer speaker of a life science student representative assembly. I don't know, maybe anytime during your application that had been for me. I think I was the faculty president. I was this. It had never helped in all of my applications. So I don't know if probably I'm wrong. Since you have gotten a scholarship and being a politician then while in school, I don't know if there was ever at a point in time it factored in. Personally, I think it has never factored in for me.
Um,
Wow.
okay, if I may comment on that, at times your undergraduate contribution might also count, although not in a big way, but at least if you don't have much story to talk about or to say about your leadership experience, maybe you can fall back on what you did during your undergraduate days. But in most cases, what you said actually is what they are expecting. Like in a particular niche, what you've done to demonstrate your leadership capacity in that field. But then you can also incorporate that with the undergraduate story. It's just that the way we tell our story uh, differs. For example, the two of us might say the same story, and unfortunately, we are going to say it in different ways, and the people will understand it differently. Though we are referring to the same scenario, but the way we narrate our story differs, at times. So that may also count. But you are right with what you said. Personally, I've not backed on my leadership experience back in school as politician. No, I don't really bank on it when I'm applying for scholarship. Rather, I try to bank on my leadership experience during my national service, because back then I was the president of the Sustainable Development Goals in Edo State. I really know the role I play and our achievements during then that are still speaking even till now in Benin City. So one thing I will advise everyone is, in fact, what I initially planned to do, because I really not know that we are going to have a kind of question and answer session tonight. I really want to quickly take a kind of survey to know those people that see P7 or those that are years to go for the NYC, because those people they have high chances. For example, if you ask me, before NYC, you have your probability of gaining international scholarship after your NYC is 1. During NYC, your probability of gaining international scholarship after your NYC is 0.9, or let's say 0.8 thereabouts. But then if you finish NYC or if you mean 1 month and you are still submitting application, then your probability might be maybe less than 0.5. And the reason is individually, we need to be intentional about our goals, about our values in life. So when I was starting with the responsibility of SDG president back then in during my NYC day, I purposely focused on the SDG Go 3, which is health, because I know my research interest lies within the health corridor. So what I did was to organize programs that I know that are in alignment with health situation in Benin City. For example, we worked on HIV, we worked on yellow fever, vaccination. We worked on a lot of things like that, which are directly related to what I'm studying today. So that's why I said if you are yet to serve, your chances of winning international scholarship after your service is one. That provided that you work towards your goal, because you know your aim after the NYC, then you should be able to channel resources, time, money, candidates uh, to be able to qualify this particular program. Can you
Hello.
still hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So as I was saying, you need to like plan everything ahead. So if you are going for NYC, for example, if you are yet to serve and you are going for NYC, I will encourage you to have it map out everything, what you want to do. If you are writing the IELTS, I will suggest 3 months after you enter, sorry, 3 months into NYC, get your IELTS, get it done. And if you want to write GRE, maybe 6 months, you can do that. But then you need to start writing your own SOP. You need to start submitting applications. You need to work uh, in harmony with your supervisors. I mean, those people are very powerful. There is a way they can write a recommendation letter for you that is going to stand you out in whatsoever you do. For example, so can you hear me now? Hello?
No, I'm not really hearing you clearly. Hello.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry about
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I
Okay,
can. Yes, I can hear you.
good. So, as I was
Yes.
saying, there is need to be intentional about our goals and whatever it is. So, if you are yet to serve, this message is directly to those who are yet to serve. I'm sorry if I'm biased, but I think for me, I want to like give them some kind of priority because although everybody, all of us, we have the chance, the avenue is there for everybody. But I think if I was told or maybe advised or encouraged before going for studies, probably I could have done something better. Maybe I could have even get the scholarship during my NYC days. But then I still thank God for whatever the story is today. So if you are yet to serve, the I will encourage you. Immediately you get into service, your first 3 months, make sure you get your IATS, get it done. If you want to write GRE, fine, go ahead and do that, and then try to work in harmony with your superiors, with your head of department, and with whosoever you think. For example, if you're in the university and maybe you are working in the department, definitely the head of department might be a professor, a doctor, or whosoever. Then those people, if they write a recommendation letter for you, outside those who taught you when you were in the undergraduate, it actually carries a wealthy. I mean, their recommendations, it's actually
Mm.
wealthy. So you need to like be intentional about your growth. It's not about being loyal to people just for them to call you probably a good person or to do this or no, no, no. It's not about that. Is you having a kind of focus in mind, and because of that, you are just intentional about it. You are trying to work towards your goal. At the same time, you are gaining number one that you are gaining the experience, you are gaining the skill, you're also gaining the trust of people. When I was about to leave my
Mm.
primary PPA back there in University of Benin Teaching Hospital. My boss then, the consultant, which also happened to be the head of the department. In fact, when I got there, I did not know that she was not the head of department then, although she was a consultant, but she was not the head of department. And nobody knew back then that she is going to, I mean, rose to the position and just become the head of department back then. So, but everything happened within the blink of an eye, and she got the position. So, what I'm trying to say is that she wrote a kind of recommendation. She wrote something in my recommendation letter that personally I was not expecting it. But then, because she was observing everybody in the department and she knows the manner and the behavior of everybody in the department, she was able to craft out I mean, good recommendations letter for me. And the last two scholarship I won, I actually submitted recommendations letter. So
Wow.
that, yep. So another thing I would like to say, so based on the leadership experience, if you are fortunate to be the president or whatsoever during your NYC, please and please try to make it count. I mean, it's actually very, very effective. If you have something solid, you are giving back to your community. I mean, during your NYC, it's actually very count. It's something you can bank on, even though you do not have the leadership experience during your undergraduate. I mean, if you do something tangible during your the NYC period, it's going to count. It's going to speak for you. Don't worry if they don't pay you for it. Most of the time, you don't need to be paid to do all those kind of stuff. Going about doing maybe public awareness or doing whatever it is. Or I'm not saying you should spend your allowance try to help Nigeria. No, no, no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm only try to volunteer the way you think is in line with your career. Don't spend your money on what's the name on NYC. I mean, on being a philanthropist during your NYC and say, okay, maybe it's someone that I advise you or that encourage you to do so. No, that's not what I'm saying. But because you are not going to be, you don't want to be a philanthropist after NYC. That's not your goal. Your goal is to probably go into research or you want to get international scholarship, you want to do this, you want to do that. So you should be able to invest your resources accordingly in line with what you have in mind. So that's what I'm trying to say. And
Thank
if you,
you.
all right, go ahead. Or do I still have the floor? Hello, can you hear?
Um, I think probably her network. She's having issue with her network. So while she resolves that, Maureen
Hello,
was
can I
here
be heard?
sometimes. Okay,
Hello?
Maureen, we can hear you now. You are welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
It
Sorry, I
took
was
a
having issues with my network. I
yeah,
wasn't
it
able to
took a
set it up earlier.
okay, it took a long time, but finally we are happy to have you here. So you are
Okay,
welcome.
thank you
Uh, we,
very much.
we have had a very interesting session thus far, and then before we proceed forward, you talk. Then all the audience will be allowed to speak and to actually give, since we don't have much, we have many, because we believe that after this program we'll be able to get ourselves together, network, and get a concrete result. So we give everybody the chance to talk. Tell us the scholarship you are aiming for. Let us connect and network with each other. But before then, Maureen, you introduce yourself. Tell us your experience so far about scholarships and succinctly the major lesson you've gained so far. So thank
Okay,
you.
thank you everyone. I'm so happy to be here and I'm very sorry for the network issues. So, my name is Nwokore Maureen. I graduated from the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, where I studied public health. So after my graduation, I ventured into data science and also has been assessing international scholarships since then. So last year I applied for MasterCard, but I will definitely say I didn't prepare much for it. So my essays were written haphazardly. So sometime this year, I got a message from them. I posted on LinkedIn. That was where I met Israel. I know I gave my time, but not really much. So that was where everything sparked up. So the thing that after that, I have applied for the Commonwealth. I've applied for the Commonwealth scholarship, and when I made that post on LinkedIn, I really got the interest of the other scholars. For up to 6 scholars, really helped me. So I would like to share the stories I've learned so far from just this Commonwealth scholarship I've applied for. Number one thing there is you see your aces. Some people might be thinking that okay, essays is something that is general. While writing your scholarship in essays, make sure you see your personal statement, you see your volunteer work and your leadership experience. That's what distinguishes you out from others. So everybody can cook up a nice, a wonderful essay and everything. But what makes you different is your personal statement, your volunteer work, and your leadership experience. So the thing I heard when Israel was saying maybe being a leader in your department or it doesn't really count or matters or anything. But I feel it matters. It really matters while writing your essay, or maybe during your NYSC. I overheard the scholar saying make good use of your NYSC period. During my NYSC, I served as their financial secretary, sustainable development goal. Though I know I've not gotten any admission, a scholarship yet, but for now, I've gotten 3 admissions from 3 different schools. So I'm still waiting for Commonwealth decision. So the thing there is, if you see volunteer work, don't joke with it. Anyhow you can do it, don't joke with volunteer work. Another thing is knowing how to key in your voluntary work to your essay. Because there was a time I followed one NGO for an outreach HIV program, because I currently work with an organization that are into HIV, a non-governmental organization that are into HIV. You can go for your volunteering work, then make sure one thing about volunteer work is they feel you are giving back to the society, because that's what scholarship is all about. They want to know after they've trained you, what can you offer when you come back to your home country? What can you give back? Giving back, that's what this whole thing is all about. So don't play with your volunteer experience. Then your leadership experience counts. You being a course rep, you being your president, departmental president, during your NYSC, being the president for your CDS, a vice president, or thereby. Just make sure that any position you find yourself, make good use of it. As a president, you can organize outreach, you can organize programs. And while writing your leadership experience, you can keep these things in, and it will definitely help you. And I've heard the scholar saying your writing your reference, you need to create that bond with your referees. You need to, so that while writing, they will write a powerful reference for you, because it really helps. My own was, I've had not really much experience with this whole scholarship process, because MasterCard was the first, then with this Commonwealth. But I feel that the experience I've gathered only writing this Commonwealth scholarship essays, I don't know. It's because most of the courses I applied there was public health, public health, public health. If you check that, it is almost public health, public health, public health. So the experience there, the thing that I want to share is, if you want to start up your application, first of all, take your time. Don't rush it. One thing is to apply, another thing is to get it. For my ACE, I wrote it for 1 month, and for my Commonwealth ACE, I wrote it for up to 1 month. I know how many scholars they continue to review, and review. Another thing is applying, another thing is getting the scholarship. So the thing that you would do is, once you apply, make sure you reach out to other scholars. Most of them are always busy, but if you can see someone that can review your essay for you, is wonderful, is good. I was opportune to get up to 3 scholars that reviewed mine. If you're opportune to get, even if it's one, is okay. Once you write, they review. You write, they review your they review your essays. It really goes a long way to help. So I feel I can stop it there, maybe to give other people a chance to talk, and pick it up from there later.
Thank you very much, Ms. Maureen. Um, I have really learned a lot from the contribution of the 3 panelists. So now we want to open the floor for the audience participants. If you have any contributions, you have any questions, you have a particular scholarship you want to apply for, how you want to get it, you have anything you want to contribute, the floor is open for you to make your contribution.
Hello, let us start. Probably we should start calling out names one after the other. So I think it works well like that. The first on my list here is Adeleke Adeola. So please, can we get to know you? Are you a current core member, serving core member? And which scholarship, what did you study and which scholarship would you hope to apply for? So please, Adeleke Adeola, are you there? Can you talk?
Everyone is actually raising his hand. Maybe he wants to say something.
Okay.
Unmute your mic and say something if you want to say something.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Amoro Ridwan. I'm a student in
Okay.
my final year level 400 level. Well, so I was in a discussion with a mentor. So I was discussing about scholarship with him, and he made me understand that there is no very slim chances for part-time students to gain scholarship because we are not really engaged when it comes to education. We just go to school on weekend, take class, and write exams. But I've been hiring the Commonwealth Court scholarship. So I really don't know how to go about it. I've made a lot of research. Even as at 5 p.m. today, I was still on Google trying to know what and what to do. And it's just looking like I don't even know. I keep on reading and reading and reading. So my question is, so fine. The first one is it true that as a part-time student, the chances are slim even after graduating and doing your NYC? Because the school I attend actually do NYSC. It's a distance learning, so we do NYSC. So after the NYSC, is the chances really small. So and also after the NYSC, what is the first thing to does one just apply for the scholarship or there are other things one needs to do? So those are my questions.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Mr. Abraham would answer the question. Then the other two panelists, if they also have something to contribute, they would contribute after Mr. Abraham answers the question. Mr. Abraham?
Okay. Thank you. Can you hear me now? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Abraham.
Well, um, so are you into is it
Your voice is not too audible.
Mr. Abraham?
is it an HND program or ND program or
The BSc program.
program? Okay. So either the reason for asking is
Hello?
can you hear me?
Hello?
I'm with you. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Well, someone was talking. So if
We can't hear you again.
Hello?
now,
Your
I
voice
think
is
you need
deep,
to
sir.
speak up.
hello, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Better.
it's better now.
It's audible now.
Sorry about that. Probably. So I asked about if it's ND or uh, the normal degree because if it's HND, I think you can go for your what's the name? Is it diploma? They call it now. That 1 year program after
Yes,
the
diploma. But I'm doing BSc.
okay. There's no problem about that because I even want to share the experience of a guy that got the Erasmus scholarship having HND, but then your to make sense as students in another way is not because scholarship application are evaluated holistically. So it's not just your degree that's actually counts. It counts. I'm not disputing that fact. Then there are also other factors that you put into consideration. For example, this guy that I told you about that got the Erasmus scholarship using HND. He has a lot of things. He has enhanced his profile after the HND. At the HND level, then try to apply for scholarship. No, he has done a lot of things. He has written so many international exams. I think you can read about the guy on Facebook. I don't really know, but I think I saw the story on Facebook. I did not go through, but I looked at his profile when he was trying to do everything. But so that's what you need to know. I think the first thing you need to know is about the program requirements. For me, I don't think because you were a part-time student during your undergrad, because of that, they won't pay scholarship if you're applying.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
You can say hello every time. So, as I was saying, so if uh, you need to make your research, know about the program, know about the requirement. Being a part-time student, not it does not have to stop you from applying for scholarship, honestly, because when you are submitting your application, you are not going to put it there that you're a part-time student during your undergraduate. You put it there, undergraduate student. No, and what matter is what exactly you learn during the process, the skills, the hands-on skills, do you have them, the experience, do you have them? And I think being a part-time student, if you're working in a similar, in a related field, then you should have uh, more experience outside the classroom than those people that are even full-time. Just, I mean, I'm only assuming, I'm not saying that is how it should be, because those also, we also go for 6 months. So depending on, there are so many factors to be put into consideration. So the fact that you are a part-time student does not mean you are not going to get a scholarship. The only thing is, how did you build on your profile? How did you enhance your profile? How did you concentrate on what you have or what you are going to obtain at the end of the program? The volunteer experiences, do you have them? The international exams. I'm emphasizing on the international exam because I know it's going to give you an edge. Definitely, it will give you an edge. For example, you have a GRE. I wrote my GRE despite the fact that I was, sorry, despite the fact that I am in biomedical field. Normally, GRE should be limited to maybe engineering or whatever it is. But then you want an edge. You want to, you need a kind of open doors. I mean, everywhere. You need to to have various alternatives and various options. You want to be in charge of your own applications. You don't want people to decide your fate. Like you really want to decide your fate. If you want to go to US, if you want to go to Canada, so having a GR will definitely give you an edge. So these are things you need to put into consideration, not just your BSc or the degree, the part-time degree or whatsoever it is that. So for me, I don't think you should bother so much about that. What you need to be considering how to enhance what you have, what you are going to have. I don't know, maybe you are done or you are still in the program, so depending. So you need to know how to announce it, what to do, the kind of work you need to do, the kind of exams you need to write, then how to write a good motivation letter. If you don't have experience, if you want to in the field you are seeking for scholarship, then you need to learn, maybe go for internship, go voluntary work, and try to gain experience in the field. I think with that, you are going to make a huge success if you apply for
Okay. Thank you very much for the answer. Rinwan, I hope you have gotten an answer to your question.
Yes, definitely. Thank
Hello.
you very much.
All right. Is there anybody else who have questions relating to? Is there anybody else? Then we'll go. If there's nobody else with questions, we would just go straight to inviting the other scholar, Mr. Abraham, told us came with him. So he'll come and share one or two things about scholarships and how to access international scholarships with us. So the other scholar.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Babatunde, and yeah, I'm Abraham's friend, and I saw this post on LinkedIn, and yeah, I told him to send me the link of the meeting, and he did. And yeah, I'm happy to be here, and yeah, just as a short introduction, I finished from the Federal University of Technology, Mina, and I studied chemical engineering, and now I'm studying an Erasmus program, and currently somewhere in Sweden. And yeah, yeah. So my scholarship journey actually started in 2018, I would say. I knew that I was going to start a journey like that, but I didn't know that it would be that fast. I finished in 2018 also, and yeah, when I finished, I ensured that I got my transcript and English proficiency letter during my convocation, which was somewhere around February 2019. And after getting all those documents, I started application. And yeah, I didn't spend so long in the scholarship journey before winning one. So I didn't have so much experience. But just to put this straight, I think the mistake some of us make is to wait till when we finish NYC and before we start applying for scholarship. So you can actually start applying for scholarship from your 500 level or from your final year for people that are not in the Federal University of Technology. So for me, I think the best thing to do is to start applying for scholarship right from your final year. And because when we got there, I have classmates that were in their final year when they started applying for scholarship. And this way, I think it's even easier, and you are still very active when you're in school, and you could ace your GRE exam better, I think. Yeah, so I think Abraham brought up the discussion, or Ridwan asked about NYC, and yeah, I just thought about saying that. And also from my experience, I think the most important thing in scholarship journey is your commitment, because you would always get rejection letter, and yeah, you must be ready to take the rejection letter as something you would learn from. So for me, when I tell people about my story, it's sometimes even myself I laugh about it, because when I started getting rejection letter, I created a partition in my mailbox which I named love letters, and anytime I get a rejection letter, I just sent it there. And I try as much as possible to evaluate my application for every rejection I get, and to see what I did wrong and what I would have done better that might have made me want the scholarship. So the advice I would just give to everybody is try to be committed. It's not an easy journey. There is always ups and downs, but yeah, I'm only sure that if we are committed and we continue to put in our best, then we'll surely win the scholarship very soon. Yeah, I think I'll stop for now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Babatunde, for your contribution. We really appreciate. And
Okay, Esther, I think network is off. Now, firstly, I realized that it's
do we
okay.
give
Hello,
Mr. Abraham?
Esther. Okay,
Hello.
hello, we can hear you now. Continue, please.
Hello, Star,
Esther,
continue. We can hear you.
And
Esther?
okay. I think she's having network problem. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My network. I'm a graduate of mass communication. Someone sent in a message. Um, Mass communication. Apply for. I'm a graduate of which type of scholarship can an HND holder of mass communication apply for? and how can I go about it? That's the last question. But before the question is addressed, I will want to note something. Mr. Babatunde, it's a pleasure having you around. I am happy to hear that FET students are going places like that. And one other important thing I think, as we've not really mentioned, that Sir Abraham talked to me the last time we discussed, was networking. I think one of the things like denying people of seeing their better version is the kind of carcass they move with. I believe quite a lot of people have just been moving with a carcass that are quite myopic. And I think Mr. Abraham could explain better the importance of networking, the carcass you move with, especially in this journey of scholarship, considering the fact that you receive a lot of love letters, as Mr. Tunde has put it, a lot of love letters. I need to have stopped bothering myself about the love letters. Once they come, I'll just start them. Once they come, I'll just start them and just move on. So, but I think Sir Abraham and Sir Babatunde can share a little experience about the carcass or the network of friends they moved with that inspired them. To become the scholarship journey is very boring and is maybe lonely and frustrating them sometimes. That's why we need this network. How did you get your network? How did you get people that you moved together in the same field to help each other in terms of information, motivation, and network? So please, can you share briefly how you able to get that quality network? Let's start with Sir Abraham.
Okay, all right. Thank you. That's a good question. We all know that iron sharpened iron. That's one. And two, if we refer to the book of the Bible, saying, "Can two work together except they be agree?" So, the first thing is you need a like-minded fellow. Uh, because I mean, I must confess to you, scholarship journey for me personally is the most tedious journey I've ever embarked on. I mean, it's so tedious, it's frustrating, it's annoying, it's lonely. I mean, so many days of wow, God, what's this again? I mean, so many days you are going to doubt yourself, so many lonely days, so many days you are going to be sad, you are going to cry, you are going to do a lot of things. I mean, it's a real wilderness experience, to be candid. Except you are very lucky, except you are very things clicked out for you. Maybe you tried it once. Yeah, I know people that actually applied to scholarship and got it once, but it's not going to work for everybody. It's not going to be like that for everybody. And another thing is, if you have good mentors, yeah, there is it has a role. I mean, mentorship is very important in scholarship. If not so, your journey will be very slow. Personally, assuming I have, let me see, maybe if I have mentor, maybe the 3 years could have been maybe shortened to maybe, let's say, 1 or 2 years, or 18 months or 2 months or whatever it is. But I was just doing trial and error. I tried this, no, I tried that, no, I tried. So I was just kind of playing trial and error. But despite the trial and error, one thing is persistency. Yeah, I have a kind of resolution that myself, someone recently described me as an armor-minded fellow. Yeah, I have a kind of, I'm very persistent. I am very persistent. So that's just one thing. Yeah, there's need for consistency, there's need for commitment, like my brother has said the other time. So because of this, you need like-minded fellow. I mean, you don't want someone who you are saying, okay, today let's write this exam because I consider it to be very important, and today we tell you, oh no, I mean, I don't want to write this exam because even people that did not write the exam last year, they got the scholarship. Come on, those are flimsy excuses. You don't want people saying you don't want to mingle with those kind of people. You don't want to have them as your friends because they'll be drawing you back. Let me share an example with you and also a kind of personal experience. I have a friend, although a colleague, I'll put it in that better form. We met during the NYC, and during the NYC, I was trying to write my exams and do this, do that. And although our is it Alawi now? Yeah, the Alawi that we were given is not is a kind of big money. I think it's just a 19.8. Yeah, and I mean 19 is too small. I mean you call it something mega, I think. So because of that, we are restricted in our spending. But even with that, I was ready to write my exam. So if I discuss with this guy, because to me that time he was the closest person, and that's because I've not joined the network of like-minded people on the internet. I mean, the internet contains a lot of good people. I mean, serious-minded people, people with fire in their soul. So you need to look for such people on the internet. There are a lot of them there. So, and if I tell him let's write this exam, he's going to say no, give different excuses. For example, during the GRE, I said, okay, let's write the GRE. He said no, that you study microbiology. Even people, the GRE is only for people that study mathematics, the people that study the electrical engineering, the people that engineering as a whole. That if you're in biomedical science, you don't need to write GRE because what's the relationship between mathematics and this and that? I mean, a lot of. So because of that, myself, I will say, okay, well, you have a good point, and we are going to maybe postpone or at times we cancel the plan. If I tell him apply to this scholarship, he's going to have excuse. He's going to do this, a lot of excuses. So a point came, I was tired because I was trying to go, but somebody is trying to pull me down. I mean, it's not as if he's doing it intentionally, but that is just his own nature. I mean, there are people like that. So first you need to know yourself, then you need to know who you are going to work with. So at a point, I was like, no, I'm not going to tell you anything again. And anything I do, I'm going to be kind of be doing it alone. So luckily for me, there was a time I joined a Telegram group. In fact, I don't really know how I got the link to that group. And to be candid, I've opted out. I don't really know what happened. I changed phone and I lost contact with them. But then I met a guy there, and I look at his manner of conversation on the group, and I send him a message back then that okay, hi, hello, I'm Abraham, I'm this, these are my experiences, these are my ambition in life. I would like to like be your friend, and that's how we. He also he responded. He introduced himself. He told me he's from this place, and told me he's share his experience with me, and we became good friends. Today, we became good friends. And along the line, I told him, okay, these are my plans. I want to do this. He said the same thing. You want to do this. We fixed the time together. In fact, I was at that time I was thinking, okay, maybe 3 to 4 months to pray for JR. I was proposing 6 months to pray for JR. He said no, 6 months. Although he's kind of an engineering student. He said no, 6 months is too long. That I should be able to write it within 3 months, and I'm going to ace the exam. And I said, okay, why good. So because of that, it toughened my mind compared to the other fellow that will be saying, no, do this, don't do this, don't. So because of that, within 3 months, I was able to write the exam, and I hate the exam to be honest. And he did the same thing. He hates the exam as well. And from there, we keep applying, and I will tell him, "Have you applied to this one?" He will say, "Yes." He will send me a link. Have you applied to this one? I mean, it was we are so compatible in everything that we do. For example, when we write maybe the proficiency exam, it was the same thing. Okay, you do this, I do this, and it was so easy. I Anytime I get a rejection letter, I'm going to send him that, oh boy, I still get this letter today. Himself, he also send his own to me. And anytime he's frustrated, I'm always like the channel to for him to vent his what's the name. And also when I'm in such a position, maybe I got a rejection letter and I need to vent my anger or vent the frustration or whatever he's always there. I mean, that's just how it should be. You don't want someone you'll be telling this is what happened and they'll be like, get out, don't talk about it again. And so you really need like-minded fellow. You need people that are ready to work. In fact, for me, I would say people that are more positive than you in thinking. People that, yeah, because with that, you yourself, you are not a pessimist, but you just want people that you know that when it comes to positivity, when it comes to faith, when it comes to believing, when it comes to ambition, they have this kind of fierceness within their soul. They have this kind of inferno within them, and they are able to like move. They're able to pull you along, hold your hands, and you walk the journey together. It's more or less like marriage because it's going to be tedious, I must say. But with good friends, encourage. You don't really need so many friends because they will drag you down. You only need one or two people, serious minded, like minded. Don't let me use the word serious because everybody is serious in life. It's just that the direction we channel our energy to differs. So you just need like minded, person to work with. So if you're able to network with people on the internet, or maybe you have a group like this Yesi platform, you meet people that you see that they have more passion or maybe ambition or anything than you, please try to teamwork and work with them. It's better to work in peers, because then you'll be able to like open up to each other than when you are working in a group. If you are working in a group, it's not everybody that will be comfortable working in a group of maybe a group of 20, group of 30, trying to share experience. So I got the rejection letter today. For example, if I keep telling Mr. H that I got rejection letter every time, at a point you might want to run it that maybe this guy is having some kind of, but that's just how it is. But if we are friends and we are working together, now today you told me you share your experience with me, and tomorrow I share my experience with you. With that, it's going to be more helpful. We'll be able to encourage each other. So I encourage you to like look for like-minded fellow you are going to work with. Look for people of great minds. I mean, there are people with great potentials, people with great minds. I mean, people with great ambition and great vision in life. People with great drives. I mean, with inferno within them. So if you are able to connect with these people, I can assure you are going to make progress on your way.
Oh, thank you. Esther, are you there?
Yes, yes, I am here. Thank you very much, Mr. Abraham, for that contribution. We also like Mr. Babatunde to tell us how he got his network like of like-minded people.
Okay.
Well, I think considering the fact that you are an alumnus of FUT also, and then coincidentally we are the same sets. So I would like to know, one thing I realized that then when I was in 500 level, we didn't really have much people with that scholarship mindset, even though some of us had wild dreams. But the kind of people around that time were not too, should I say, we're not too ambitious as such. So it's pressed us down, kind of. But considering the fact that you were there and you've been able to get this orientation right from undergraduate, and bam, you're able to speed up your journey. How were you able to get the network? Maybe it's department based or what? Or what do you think? So let us hear it.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, right from my undergraduate, this scholarship kind of person, I wrote several undergraduate scholarship, and I think I got few of them, maybe like three. And yeah, I also heard you talking about MTN. I also wrote that one that year, but I also didn't get it. Similar to what you also mentioned. Yeah, so right from my undergraduate, I started meeting people during these scholarship exams. Going to Abuja to write scholarship exams. I meet people from other schools and we talk. And from there, some of us exchanged number and we started talking. And again, when I finished, I tried to join some groups, and from there, I tried to notice one or two people that are very passionate about this thing. Because just as Abraham said, it's this the journey has its own ups and downs, and sometimes you just need somebody else to encourage you. Because when you get rejection letter, it might seem like you are just not good enough. You need somebody to tell you that you are good enough, and you just need to improve something. So I mean, it's you just have to try to link up with the right people. And for example, I am always interested in this footer kind of networking. I mean, those guys have one kind of crazy network, and you always see footer students winning most of the scholarship. And when you ask some of the students, they will tell you that right from 300 levels, students start preparing for postgraduate scholarship, and they start meeting with present scholars, telling them what to do and all. And I think that's maybe one of the things we need in a school like Futmina. The student have to have this kind of passion to apply for postgraduate scholarship. I was in a group with, I think Abraham is also on a group, and on the group I'm about to talk about, and a scholar was giving uh, was giving a lecture about the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship that just closed like 2 weeks ago. And you couldn't believe that I think I was just the one that was trying to respond to the scholar so that it doesn't feel lonely in a group that we have about 200 Footmina students. And I mean, I already won a scholarship. So you could imagine I was just there to just support the scholar so that it doesn't feel lonely. So I just think that FUT students are just less passionate. And yeah, I think if we should really be passionate about these things and try to connect with people of like minds, you don't need to go with too many. I'll give you an example. I was talking with some of my classmates to write a journal like a month, no, 2 months ago, and we were like five. But after like 2 weeks, the whole dream just shattered off. And well, I thought about it, and I just talked to one of them that we should proceed and write it alone. And I mean, me and the other person, we are making good progress now. So you don't need 10 people, 20 people in this journey. You just need like maybe one or two that you would always discuss with. And the person will tell you, okay, I'm applying for this scholarship. I think you should also apply. And yeah, this way you would be able to have somebody to always talk to and somebody that will always encourage you. So I think I would always say it again. The most important thing is the passion. I mean, the drive to always apply, because you would always be disappointed at some point. I mean, it's very unlikely that you will win your first scholarship. Let me just put it straight. So yeah, you must be committed.
Thank you, moderator. Before you take over, I think I really want to talk a little about the network of the thing, like Sababatunde and Saibram has mentioned. You know, when I met with Maureen, our first discussion, Maureen, I think we spent almost 2 hours discussing. It was a very, very lively discussion. We talked about a lot of disappointment we've encountered, a lot of challenges. Just had a lot of time to laugh about our work, about my own work, and it was then I realized the importance of having someone you have the same dream as the two experienced scholars had already said. So we both don't really get tired of just applying. I can remember when we first met, and I was surprised. I didn't know she would respond to my message. I just saw her post, then I sent her a message, and within 1 hour, I just saw a message. Wow, you know, ladies generally on social media is always very difficult to get close to ladies on social media, and she just sent a message. I was like, "Wow, are you kidding me?" And since then, I just hope that one day the two of us two will be able to come out and say, "Okay, we met on LinkedIn, and then we had been in the race together. We have been this, we have been doing this together." And to be candid, I really want to appreciate your friendship, Maureen. You have been a good friend.
Thank you very much, Israel. Thank you. So I just want to add one thing there. See, if you're applying for scholarship, it's just like your mind will not be there. But for the best thing you can do for yourself is after your scholarship application and they're uploading the necessary documents and everything, just remove your mind from there. Just as if you not even apply for any scholarship. Just apply for the scholarship and just be there and just focus on your studies.
Okay, I think our network is bad. Okay, moderator, can you give? I think we have some people there that wants to
So
talk.
there, wait for their results. Yeah, sure. That's just the thing you need to do. Because if you put your mind there and still get that love letter, my dear, if you don't have heart or this the networking we are talking about, or someone you can actually talk to, or someone in your area you can talk to, my dear, it will really be a big problem for you because the mind, the zeal to continue applying will not be there again. You'll be telling yourself it's still the same old story. But once you see that rejection letter, you pick up your pieces, continue apply. That was what I did when I got the MasterCard. I continued applying.
Okay, Maureen, we can't hear you again. Moderator, can you give Rocky Kambiri time chance to talk? He said he wants to talk about the filter network. Can you give him the chance?
I think the
Yeah,
percentage is not
he raised
much.
his hand. He can say something.
So that's it.
Oh, thank you, Maureen.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good
My name is
Good
evening.
Akon.
evening.
My name is Akanguru Okibe, 300 level geology student of FUTMINA. Uh, I can. I'll start by saying that to me, Corona or pandemic period is a blessing in disguise to me. So during the Corona period, I have a sister working as a non-teaching staff in FUTA. So I went to her place in Akure to stay with her. But I noticed that since I started the first time I entered FUTA was when I was in SS2. So then, due to the fact that I've been to some campuses, I didn't like the physical setting of the campus, blah blah blah. So I don't have interest in going to FUTA normally. But I noticed something that whenever I come to FUTA for holiday to come and visit my sister, I used to go to Obaikere Mosque, mingle with the students living in the school mosque. Used to notice that there will be at least one or two additions to me, as in something I know about before the student will do it in another way that will be different. I will connect with new friends. I started knowing that whenever I go to FUTA, now why is I usually go to my laptop. I'm very sure that no, I will learn something. That's so during this Corona period, instead of staying at my sister's place, just eating and dining and whining, wasting my time. No, I prefer to go and as in leave my comfort zone from my sister house, go to the mall, stay there, live with them. So unfortunately then I met a brother, Ibrahim Alabi. So he used to come to the campus then during the coronavirus around mid of 2020. I noticed that whenever he comes, there's no the light in the outside of campus is not stable. So he used to come to the mosque at night around 7 o'clock. So we used to use the Zoom meeting to attend online class, as in physical class. So I was just like, Brian, what are you doing on Zoom? As in, I don't understand. So now said that time that I heard that he has started this PhD program, that it is the corona that is stopping from traveling to US. I was just like, really? I did it. So later on, some people now started telling me about Afar Ibrahim that is a first class student, blah 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 blah. I was just like, I have to move with people. So when I get to know about Afar Ibrahim, he's a first class graduate of statistics. He graduated from FUTA in 2016. Immediately he finished from FUTA in 2016. He got a scholarship to study master in Rwanda that same year. Immediately finished, before he finished in Rwanda, he got a scholarship in PhD in statistics, Boys State University, Idaho in US. So the first Friday of year 2021, he traveled to US. So despite the fact that I have the chance to, we sleep on the same mat, we fight for food, we pray together, we talk to, not that I read about him or he motivate me on social media. No, I have physical interaction with him. I talk to him, as in man to man. I asked him about his marital life. He advised me, talked to me. He told me that despite the fact that he's older than me, he go into relationship when he was in 500 level, as in he took me as his blood brother. So I noticed that. So and a lot of people like that. I also heard about Mr. Babajide Macaulay from one department. I don't remember the department. He's also a student. He won a lot of scholarships. So FUTA to me is a blessing to me. It's my blessing point. So whenever I'm on holiday or I'm notice that I'm not really busy, I used to go to FUTA. So that's my point of inspiration. And since then, and I also connect with a lot of like-minded people. So now that I'm no longer in FUTA, we are keep on in contact with each and every one of us. So they share me link. Whenever I also get link, I share with them. Whenever I have problem, I share with them. We brainstorm, we network together, and that's one thing I can say about FUTA. But coming here to FUTA, and like Mr. The first speaker said that you have to move like-minded people. There are some friends that I would tell them that apply for this scholarship, and they will come back to me that Abroki, you've wasted my MB and time, that she applied for social scholarship and I was just like, but my father is not working on in Scholastica or Chevron. I that shared the link, I was not shortlisted as well. So I noticed that. So what I did is that whenever I have the link, I post it in public, not into their DM or personal chat. I post it into my departmental group. So the first that whenever my friends see me, they call me Minister of Information. That's my nickname in the department. I post on my status. I even created a group. Just like I'm an undergraduate student, I created a group for postgraduate and undergraduate. So whenever I get the link, which at least I can say so.
Thank you, Abdul Rakib.
Yes, sir.
I want to commend the work you're doing, despite being an undergraduate, and I want to commend your vision. Maureen, do you remember when we're talking about this program? You asked me how many people were we expecting. If you could remember, I
Yes.
told you that I was expecting only you, me, and our third facilitator. I made it clear.
I'm sure like 15
Yes,
participants. That's really great.
I said once we have the three of us, because I'm definitely here to gain. She is here to gain, and we have people that have passed that are here to pass experience to us. And I was not too expectant that I was not even still expecting about 15 people to be here. I was just okay, just the three of us, because at the end of the day, even if it's only the three of us that are in this program, I'm very sure we will gain. I'm still looking for scholarship. I've not gained. I This program is to for me to get what I've not got. So, and I think we should challenge Sir Abraham and Sir Babatunde. This is a challenge to the two of you that have been able to secure the scholarship. We've talked a good thing about what FUTA is doing. FUTA didn't just start this process today.
Sure.
If you check, they have a very standard tutorial for Jambites in FUTA. Now you see some parents, they will just go and drop their children immediately they finish secondary school. I think they have some tutorial centers there that are very, very solid. Students run tutorial, not even all this outside tutorial. From there, I think their foundation is they build their foundation from such this thing. So please, can we get something like that done too for Footme? Now we don't have to start with big number, like Cybram has mentioned earlier. We can just get few like-minded people. Start with something. Let's see how we can go this year, next year, and let's start building the scope together. You are experienced, you are there already. I'm sure if we can get people together, you will be available to mentor them and to put them through. Am I right? Can I get your response to that before we move forward? We have very short time to go, and I will have to hand over to our moderator. So, but before that, can we get a response to that on how we can go about that from Saibram and Sababatunde?
Yeah, I can say something. Actually, the problem is you want to lead somebody that is not ready, and it looks like a problem. You can't start telling people, you can't start forcing people to apply for scholarship, knowing how stressful application can even be. I mean, even it's very difficult because it needs this inner drive. And just as I was saying the other time, there's a group on WhatsApp that's named Footmin Scholars, and we have about over 100 Footmin students on that group. But we invited a past scholar from the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, and he was giving a lecture for like 1 hour. And I think I was just the only one, or myself and like two other people that were on the group responding to his messages. So I mean, it just looks like people are not really interested in this thing, and it's not something you can force them. And most people are just, how do I even put it now? I don't know the right English to use, but most people are just eager to win it, but they are not ready to pay the price. So when they hear that Abraham won the scholarship, wow, that's nice, I also want to win it. But the question is, am I ready to do the work? So for me, I'm ready to help anybody that needs my help, but I can't force people. And I think, just as you said, if we can start a small group, maybe a group of 5, 10 that are devoted, we don't need large number of groups. I mean, I'll be ready to share my experience, and yeah. So I think we can start a group if anybody wants. If yeah, people that are just interested and committed to start this process, then we can take it up from there.
Okay, Oh, thank you. Then, Sam, Abraham, then you can quickly attend to the question. I think someone asked what are the scholarship available for HND mass communication. Maybe, sir, you can still study and you can still talk on that and the contribution Sababatunde just spoke on now. So thank you.
Thank you. When it started, what I mean, I did, and I just like
I think your
We
audio is
can't
bad.
really hear you.
Um, Abraham, your audio is bad.
can you hear me now?
Okay, yes.
Yes, good.
So just like I was saying something, I don't know, maybe you heard that. So I said, like my brother said, that interest is very important. And if you look at it, when we started this meeting this evening, I emphasized so much on the interest of an individual. For example, to be candid, it's not everybody that we maybe go to school, or it's not everybody that we I don't know how to put it, but you know, everybody that maybe we that finds food interesting. So no, so because of that, our interests differ, and because interests differ, it will be very difficult for you to like try to gather people just because maybe they are first class students or no, it's wrong. Like when they created that food thing, of course, I told them they were feeling for first class, and I said no, this is wrong. Uh, First class and so on is not a criteria to choose people who are driven, who are motivated, who have the inner zeal and whatsoever it is. I mean, so because of this, we don't really need to just gather people just to have a number. And if you look at the filter you are using as a case study, yeah, I know they have authority when it comes to scholarship, international scholarship, because they have experience. Even if you look at the program, the way the program is structured, we have students that we have collaboration with international universities that maybe if you're in your 500 level, or if you're because you also run in the 500 program. So if you're in 500 level, you can go to maybe Spain, to some other country to complete your degree. At least I've read about 4 or 5 cases of FUTA students that benefited from such programs. You understand? So our school, Footspin, I'm not sure we have something like that. Although I know there was a time we were mentioning some stuff, but I think let's just leave that story aside. But as I was saying, the interest matters, and apart from that, it depends on the settings of the school. If the school do not provide a kind of good environment for it, it's going to be very difficult. So the first thing will be the individual to work on individual first. Make sure that they are people with interest, they are people with passion before you can bring them in. If not so, I mean, along the line, it's not going to be a rosy story throughout. There'll be so many ups and downs, and if you don't have the inner drive, if you don't have the inner motivation, if you don't have the zeal, it's going to be difficult to get people through. So that's just how it is. But if we have people like that, fine. I'm always ready to to share experience. And the one thing is, okay, I can even give an example. At times, people will just send me a DM, and they will say, maybe something like, "Hey, Abraham, we heard that maybe you're not the scholarship. If it is yes, can you tell me? Maybe I want to win it, or maybe if you share your story, I'll be motivated." Like I received some messages like that. If you tell me your story, I'll be motivated. Then I look at such message when people send such a DM. Does it mean that you don't have your own vision or your own motivation right from onset, or are you just waiting for me to tell you my story before you get motivated? I mean, such motivation can just be instant, and maybe it's going to be more or less like an ephemeral thing that won't last. So the first thing is to have people with inner drive rather than people looking for motivation from outside. What's that? And if not, the question of
Hello, we can't hear you clearly again.
I don't know. I think my network is having issues. And can you hear me now?
Yes, it's very clear now.
I think the second question is based on. HND and what again? Part-time
Yes.
student.
Yeah, HND, mass communication. Someone asked about scholarship opportunities for undergraduate too. I don't know if you have any idea about scholarship for undergraduates. Probably you can still shed light on that. We are almost done
I
for the
don't
bit.
really have much experience about undergraduate. I don't have much experience about it, but I think you guys get something from MTN, maybe Twitter, I know Twitter, MTN, and like I don't have much experience about it. But for mass communication or people in arts and social sciences or wherever, there is scholarship for every field of study, every field of study. I met a guy online. We met, like I said, most of the people that are within my own network, people I met online. Till date, I've not even seen some people like eyeball to eyeball. I only know our names. So that's where I do. So when I met this guy some years ago, uh, he studied history. Yeah, I think history or maybe literature. Sorry, either history or literature. I don't know. But what I want to emphasize on is that, despite the fact that he is not a science student, he won three scholarship, three international scholarship, UK, Canada, and and the three of them they are for PhD. So he is from this Unsuka, this UNN back in Nigeria. So we met and I think yeah, I think he's from Unsuka if I'm not mistaken. What am I trying to emphasize on? Either you are in art, you are in commercial class, or maybe I don't know, maybe science or whatsoever it is. Yeah, scholarship opportunities for you. All you just have a desire, have a passion, and make your own research. Try gather information. I mean, this is the age of information. With maybe 1,000 naira subscription from MTN or whatsoever, you can just with mobile phone access the whole world. I mean, to make sure that you have the required information, and the only way you can get information is to search online. That's just it. The best source of information so far is our Google. Go to Google, ask questions. Like you try to look for scholarships. If you, like I said earlier, we have different types of scholarship. The university and the annual scholarship. Make sure that your profile match the scholarship you're applying for. Try to gather as much information as you can on every scholarship. So your what's the name? Your field of study is not a barrier at all. We have scholarship for people in media. We have scholarship for people with maybe mass communication degree. I mean, for everything. You can imagine people that study forestry. There's scholarship for them. People that study soil science. There's scholarship for them. People that study history and agriculture, whatsoever it is. I mean, currently I'm studying a one health program, and based on what we are doing and we are dealing with now, and some of the major challenges the world is facing. We need a one earth approach to tackle some of these challenges, and that's telling you that there is no feed of human endeavor that is used. So regardless of what you study, regardless of what maybe your own views about your program, those are not the limitation. Those are not the barrier. All you just need is to have the right information about them and try to search the internet to gather quality information that is going to be accessible to you. I hope I've answered the question. Hello?
Yes,
Yeah,
I think you have. Yeah, you did. You answered it. Ife, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. Hello.
Okay, yeah, please. The next. Okay, hello, we can hear you. I think we are almost done. So, what's the next agenda?
Yeah, we're gradually coming to the climax of the talk show for today. I want to appreciate every single person who made out time to join the conversation. Um, everyone is advised or asked to drop their LinkedIn profile name so that yes, we can connect with you. Also, there's a link to the WhatsApp group, the official WhatsApp group for Yes Week. You can just click on the link and join so that you can be a part of the youth that are trying to change the narrative. I think that's all. Do we still have anything else to
Okay, I think
discuss
someone's
or
hand
anything
is
else
up.
to say? Anybody else
So,
wants to contribute?
uh,
Okay, who is the person? The
Oyebamiji
person
Francis, 1 minute, please. What do you want to say? Okay. Oyebamiji Francis, are you there? Okay.
his
Well,
mic is
if he's
muted.
not coming, yes. So, on a closing remark, firstly, I want to thank facilitators from Maureen. Maureen, are you there?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. I'm here.
Maureen,
Israel.
thank you very much. I really appreciate you for your time.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate you for your
You're
friendship
welcome.
also. You've been a wonderful person. And then I also want to appreciate a senior colleague, brother, and friend, Sir Abraham. I can't thank you enough. I know how busy you are, and I know how choked up your timetable is over there. And then you still took time to attend these 2 hours, 2 hours of your time. I know how precious that is. I really want to appreciate you, sir. And then I want
Israel,
to
is
say
this
a
Francis
happy
online?
birthday in arrest to you. What do you say?
Is this Francis? He's raising up his
Yes, I
hands. It
don't
seems
think
he has a
he's online.
question.
I don't think he isn't responding. So, as I was saying, I want to appreciate you, sir Abraham, for your time, for your sacrifice. I really want to say thank you for honoring this invitation and for the tremendous deposition you've made. And like I said, I want to say happy birthday in arrears, and I wish you a good success in your exams.
All right. Thank you very much. You're welcome. I really
So, thank you very much.
your missed
So,
you.
sir,
Yes.
Babatunde,
I hope
I
you're going to
really appreciate you too.
Yeah, thank you very much. Mhm.
Hello, sir. Sir Abraham, you were saying something.
yeah. I said I enjoy getting advice each and every one of us we take from each other, and I hope it's going to count. Like after this session, I hope we are going to have so many success story among us.
Yes, definitely. I would ensure I will follow it up. Then we have success stories. At least, if not for everyone, me and Maureen. I'm sure very soon we have a success story. I'm sure about that. So we'll follow up on all the advices we've gotten tonight and everything we've said. So Sababa today, once again, I want to appreciate you for your time. I know how. I think you are in spring in Sweden there, right? You are in spring season there.
Actually, it's very confusing weather because 2 days ago it was very sunny and yesterday snowed and today it's a bit sunny. So I'm always careful to talk about the weather.
Well, all the same, thank you very much. We hope you are enjoying Sweden very well and they are feeding you well for us. Are you getting to eat amala over there?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can if you can prepare something.
That's good. Well done, sir. So, then on the final note, I want to appreciate Ife. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being the moderator for your time. You are really appreciated. Then everyone that has been part of the meeting, I will mention her name one after the other. From Oyebamiji Francis, Damilare Emmanuel, right from he even came before we started, and I don't know why he didn't want to say anything. Nosikechi Nazom, thank you for coming around. Real one, Olasukami, thank you also. Rocky Bakambi, we really appreciate you for your time. And we hope this program has been very impactful as promised. So I hope each and every one of us have been able to get something from it. So next month we're still going to pick another interesting topic that affect the youth, and we still invite people that are experienced in that field to come and share their view about it. I wouldn't know what to talk about next month. It might still be scholarship, it might still be anything, depending on what we vote for. as youth, depending on what we think affect us generally as youth. But however, we hope that this program will work and to build ourselves. So once again, I want to appreciate each and every one of you, and I would like your response. Personally, I shared a, and also my name on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn profile name is Israel. I am different. You can send a connection request. Then we start talking. We start seeing how we can plan better, how we can advise each other, network each other, and how we can select the best topic for next month program. So thank you very much. I don't know if there is anyone that wants to say something briefly before we go. Maybe what you've gained tonight. Briefly, let me call Damilare Emmanuel. He's a friend we finished together from the same department. He's someone I respect so much. I like his passion. So please, 1 second. Can you say something, Damilare Emmanuel? You don't want to talk, but I will force you to talk because we've already passed time. So please.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I am very much happy to be here this evening, and I've actually learned a lot. And I want to say congratulations to Babatunde because this is the first time I'm hearing about that. I actually just want to say about Footmina. I think there is a need for us to kind of orientate the what's it called the younger ones on how to get things done. And what do I mean? Like, I think if we don't prepare the minds of people towards things, it will be hard for you to pick them at the peak. Maybe when they're in 500, I kind of tell them about scholarships, stuff like that. I think we should kind of find a strategy to orientate them from the beginning of their journey in the school. And I will kind of want to share my little experience too, like the need for me to start applying for schools outside the country just came a few days ago when I was discussing with Professor Musa Ibinu. I got an opportunity to join an organization and I was telling him that it's not time for you to go into the industry. Like there's need for you to kind of go into grad school. Like the insight was not there at the beginning of the journey. So please, if a strategy can actually be implemented to get people to catch people young, yeah, let me just say that. Please, please put that into place so that they can actually learn from some of the mistakes we uh, we have made. So thank you very much for this privilege. Indeed very grateful.
Okay, thank you very much. Another person that I would like to talk is Nosike Chinazom. This is the first time I'm meeting you. So let me hear your voice. I think Maureen invited her. So Chinazom, let us hear your voice, please. Can you unmute and talk? Talk to us what you gained and what you're looking forward to. Chinazom, are you there? Hello, Chinazom, are you there? Can you hear me? Okay. Chinazom, are you there? Okay, maybe she doesn't want to talk. Then I think almost everyone here has talked. Rewan, your question has been addressed. Rocky, if you had a chance to talk to. So, once again, thank you, everyone. With this, we
Thank you,
bring the
Israel.
program. Okay, Maureen, thank you. So, our this thing, our Commonwealth, maybe by next month. I think the shortlist for Commonwealth is supposed to come out by May or something like that. So
No,
maybe
it will be
that will
should be
come
June,
out
July. We are
in July.
hopeful.
Okay,
We are hopeful. At
okay,
least
we come back
three
to
admission. I
data.
have three admissions now, so we are hopeful now.
Okay, Sai Bram, I didn't tell you. I got a conditional offer from Manchester too. So, like you said, advise me. Then I'm putting something in place. So hopefully the Commonwealth will come true. So thank you very much. Thank you for all you've
Yeah.
done. Thanks everyone for coming. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So Chinazom said our network is bad. Oh, no problem. We'll still get another time to talk. So thank you, everyone. We bring the program to a close. I hope for next month will still be another interesting edition. And then if the next month topic relates to you or you think it applies to you, I want just to still attend and tell our friends about this avenue for us to network and build a very formidable network. So thank you, everyone. Good night and have a pleasant night rest. Bye bye.
Good night, all. Bye.